Alright, at this stage we will understand more tools. Here I have few of them which are very important. I have this box. The first one is toggling between 4 viewports and 1 viewport. Alt W, or I click here. I can see the 4 viewports or the 1 viewport. Here I can rotate the view, not the object. So here I can rotate the view, not the object. The bird eye moving right or left or even up and down. So I can rotate the view, not the object. Panning, I can pan, or once I am selecting the object and move it, I can pan through holding the mouse wheel and move it, just like in AutoCAD. So now let's discover my primitives that I have in order to create something in 3ds Max. The first is create, and here I have geometry, and after I have shapes, lights, cameras, helpers, space ropes, and systems. We'll not cover everything, we'll cover what we are in need of in our work. So as first, we'll understand what geometry is. Geometries are objects that we can modify in order to create something architectural, interior, for animation or anything. So let's start with the box. I will create a box, and in order to modify this box, I go to the second tab, which is modify. I click it and I see the parameters of this object: length, width, and height. And here I have some segments, which is something important. Let's discover why it is important. I will keep these 1, 1, and here I add 6. And I will introduce something new that we will go over later on, is modifiers. So I will go to modifier list, click here, and add a modifier called band. I say we'll talk about it later on. Now just to understand why segments is something important. I go to band and I will change this one. Say 180. Okay, by rotating the view, here I have it like stones, rigid. If I want it to be smoother, this arch, I go back to box and I add more segments. The more segments I add, the smoother this arch is, the less the rough it will be. Depending on my design, I can modify this. And more features and more importance about segments, we will talk about them later on. For now, this is the box. We jump to sphere. This is sphere. Sphere has radius and has number of segments. If I add more, it is smooth. If I add less, I make it less. It is like a dual pyramid. This is the minimum. This sphere, I go down, I have slice on, or before slicing on I have the hemisphere. I can make it as a dome, and this dome is something important architecturally. If I select it, and again something we will talk about command later on, edit poly, I'll select this point and delete, and here I have this nice dome physical, and here I add also another modifier called shell, so I can see it as perfect dome. Alright, so back to sphere again. Ctrl R, modify. We said we can make it as hemisphere, I can slice it, so I can take part of it, just like this. And sure, I can modify this slicing part. Delete, move to something else. Cylinder. This is the cylinder, has height, radius, and also height segments, cap segments at the top, and sides. The minimum is 3 in order to make it or keep it as 3-dimensional. So this cylinder has a minimum of 3 sides. If it is 2, it will be a plane, which is not desired in 3 dimension. The maximum is we can add as much as we want. Also, we can slice it and take part of it, just like that.